Have you ever looked at your bank account and felt that sinking feeling of confusion? You know the one, where just days ago your account was healthy after payday, but now it's dwindling faster than ice cream on a hot summer day. That moment when you ask yourself, where did it all go? As if your money had secretly plotted its own escape route from your life. This financial disappearing act isn't just happening to you. Millions of people worldwide experience this same frustrating cycle. Working hard, getting paid, watching money vanish, then starting all over again. It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if I told you this cycle isn't inevitable? What if there was a hidden language that money responds to, one that most people never learn to speak? Has this ever happened to you? You create a budget, try to be responsible, even cut back on those little luxuries, yet somehow at the end of the month, you're still stretched thin, wondering what you're doing wrong. You're not alone in this struggle. And more importantly, you're not the problem. The problem is in how you've been taught to interact with money. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. According to Joseph Murphy, one of the great teachers of abundance principles, money behaves exactly like energy. It listens, it responds, it obeys. Just as electricity follows the path of least resistance, your financial energy follows the commands you unknowingly give it every single day. When you constantly say things like, "I never have enough," or "I can't afford that," you're literally programming your money to leave you. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you think about, talk about, and experience money in your life. This isn't about wishful thinking or getting rich quick. This is about understanding the profound, energetic relationship between your words, your beliefs, and your financial reality. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if instead of constantly chasing money, you could command it to come to you. If instead of watching your bank account shrink, you could watch it grow, consistently and predictably. This isn't fantasy. It's about aligning yourself with the natural laws that govern abundance. The truth about money that most financial advisors won't tell you is that your relationship with it is energetic before it's practical. Think about it. Have you noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly while others struggle despite doing everything right? What's the difference? It's not luck or chance. It's understanding that money responds not to your needs or even your actions alone, but to your energetic command. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact words Joseph Murphy taught his students to speak over their money. Words that have helped thousands transform their financial reality from scarcity to abundance. Words that, when spoken with conviction and consistency, can literally command your money to multiply. If these prosperity principles are resonating with you, hit that subscribe button to join our community of abundance creators. I share powerful techniques like these that can transform your financial reality. Words are powerful. They're not just sounds we make or thoughts we think. They're energetic commands that program our reality minute by minute, day by day. And nowhere is this more evident than in your relationship with money. When you catch yourself saying things like, "I'm always broke," or "I never have enough to make ends meet," you're not just describing your situation. You're issuing direct commands to the universe about the kind of financial energy you want to experience. These seemingly innocent statements are actually hidden instructions telling money to avoid you, to stay away, to find someone else who appreciates its presence more. Think about that for a moment. How often throughout your day do you unconsciously reinforce the very financial situation you're trying to escape? When you see something you'd love to have and immediately think, "I can't afford that," you're not protecting yourself, you're programming limitation. When you tell friends money is tight this month, you're instructing your financial reality to constrict even further. This revelation often triggers a profound mindset shift for people who've been struggling financially despite their best efforts. It's not that you've been doing everything wrong. It's that no one taught you the hidden truth about the language of abundance. Now, I want to clarify something important. What I'm sharing isn't some fluffy, think positive and get rich philosophy that ignores practical reality. I'm not suggesting you stand in front of your mirror for hours chanting affirmations until your neighbors wonder about your sanity. The journey I'm inviting you to embark on goes much deeper than that. This is about a fundamental transformation in how you communicate with the energy we call money. It's about precision in your words, clarity in your intentions, and consistency in your financial vocabulary. The impact of this shift can be felt almost immediately, though the full manifestation unfolds over time as your new commands override the old programming. Joseph Murphy discovered through decades of research that our financial circumstances are direct reflections of our dominant thoughts and words. The reason this approach works isn't magical, it's mathematical. Energy follows attention. Resources flow where focus goes. Your words are the rudder that steers your financial ship, often without your conscious awareness. Behind the scenes of every wealthy person's life, you'll find a distinct pattern in how they speak about money. They don't bemoan its absence. They confidently expect its presence. They don't fear spending. They anticipate returns. They don't worry about lack. They focus on circulation and growth. What's fascinating is how quickly this shift begins to manifest once you become conscious of it. Many of my students report unexpected income, surprising opportunities, or sudden financial inspirations within days of changing their money vocabulary. It's as if the universe was waiting for clear instructions all along. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by showing you exactly how to reprogram your financial reality through deliberate commands that money instantly obeys. This isn't about manipulation, it's about alignment with universal laws that govern abundance. If this resonates with something you felt but couldn't quite articulate, write in the comments, "I'm ready to command my money." Let's address something that might be hitting close to home for you right now. You work hard, maybe even harder than most people you know. You're responsible with your finances. You track expenses. You create budgets. You try to save when possible. You're doing everything society told you was right when it comes to money management. Yet somehow, at the end of each month, you find yourself wondering where it all went. This persistent struggle isn't a reflection of your work ethic or your character. The hidden truth that transformed my own financial journey was the revelation that most of us have been operating from a fundamentally flawed paradigm. We weren't taught to master money. We were taught to chase it. And there's a world of difference between chasing money and commanding it. When you chase money, you're operating from a frequency of lack. There's an underlying current of fear driving your actions, a subtle desperation that says, "I need to catch this elusive thing before it gets away." This energy creates tension in your body, anxiety in your mind, and most importantly, a magnetic repulsion that actually pushes prosperity away from you. This might sound counterintuitive, but think about relationships for a moment. Have you ever noticed how desperately pursuing someone often drives them away? Money operates on similar principles of energy and attraction. What you pursue often eludes you. What you become often finds you. Commanding money, by contrast, comes from an entirely different mindset. It emerges from a place of quiet authority. There's a profound inner knowing that you are not the beggar at the universe's table, but rather a co-creator of abundance. Instead of frantically running after financial scraps, you're directing energy with purpose and clear intention. This shift represents one of the most significant transformations possible in your financial life. Moving from supplication to sovereignty changes everything, not just your bank account, but your entire relationship with the material world. Behind the scenes of this transformation is a powerful psychological principle. When you chase money, you're reinforcing the belief that it's separate from you, that it's scarce, that you might not get enough. The very act of chasing embeds these limiting beliefs deeper into your subconscious. But when you command money, you're making a declaration about your true identity. You're saying, "I am the source from which abundance flows." Joseph Murphy documented hundreds of cases where this shift in positioning from chaser to commander created immediate ripples in people's financial circumstances. Opportunities appeared, inspired ideas surfaced, and resources began flowing in surprising ways. Not because of magical thinking, but because their internal landscape had fundamentally changed. The journey from scarcity to abundance consciousness isn't just about what you have. It's about who you believe yourself to be. Your self-concept creates the boundaries of your financial experience. When you see yourself as worthy of commanding wealth rather than desperately chasing it, you've altered the foundation upon which your entire financial house is built. Now I want to show you exactly how to make this transition from chasing to commanding in practical, everyday ways that create immediate shifts in your financial energy. These techniques have helped thousands reclaim their power over money. If you recognize yourself in this pattern of working hard but still struggling financially, type in the comments, "I'm ready to command, not chase." Let's use an analogy that perfectly illustrates how money responds to your energy. Imagine money as a loyal dog. Anyone who's ever had a dog knows that they respond not just to your words, but to your energy. If you panic and frantically chase your dog around the yard, what happens? The dog runs faster, thinking it's a game. The more desperately you chase, the more elusive the dog becomes. Ready to command money rather than chase it. Subscribe now and discover more life-changing wisdom from Joseph Murphy and other prosperity teachers that most people never learn. But what happens when you stand still, calm and confident, and simply call the dog with authority? It comes to you naturally without struggle. This isn't magic, it's the fundamental principle of energy alignment. Money works exactly the same way. When you approach your finances with panic, desperation, or anxiety, you create an energetic pattern that money actually responds to by moving away from you. This revelation transformed my understanding of abundance. I realized that what appeared as luck in financially successful people was actually their mastery of this subtle, energetic principle. They weren't chasing. They were commanding from a place of quiet authority rather than frantic anxiety. The blueprint for this transformation begins with a careful audit of your financial vocabulary. The words you use when thinking or talking about money aren't just descriptions, they're actual instructions to the universe. This is perhaps the most critical mindset shift you can make, recognizing that your words carry creative power. When you say things like, "I can't afford that," or "I'm broke," or "money is tight," you're not merely describing your current circumstances. You're issuing cosmic commands that program your financial reality. You're literally instructing money to flee from your experience. Imagine if you spoke to a friend the way many people speak about money. "You never stay around. You're always leaving me. I can't count on you." What would happen to that relationship? It would deteriorate rapidly. The catalyst for financial transformation often comes when we become aware of these unconscious patterns. Behind the scenes of your financial struggles might be a lifetime of negative programming that you've been reinforcing daily without realizing its impact. Each complaint about bills, each worry about not enough, each expression of financial anxiety is like setting up a repellent force field around your wealth potential. This isn't about blame, it's about awakening to your creative power. Once you recognize that your words are directing your financial experience, you can begin the journey of intentional reprogramming. The empowerment that comes from this awareness can be immediate and profound. Joseph Murphy documented countless cases where people experienced dramatic financial renewals, simply by becoming conscious gatekeepers of their financial vocabulary. One client went from struggling to pay rent to receiving an unexpected $5,000 within 2 weeks of changing how they spoke about and to their money. The most fascinating aspect of this process is that it works regardless of your starting point. Whether you're deeply in debt or already comfortable, the principle remains the same. Your words set the energetic tone for your financial experience. Your declarations are either inviting money to multiply in your life or instructing it to maintain its distance. Let me show you how to craft powerful money commands that create an irresistible magnetic pull on prosperity. Commands that money can't help but obey. If you've been unconsciously pushing money away with negative words, type in the comments, "I'm becoming conscious of my money commands." Let me share with you the exact transformation process that creates immediate shifts in your financial energy field. It starts with a deliberate replacement of every negative financial statement with a powerful command. This isn't just about being optimistic. It's about recognizing the creative power of your declarations and wielding that power intentionally. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," begin saying, "I am attracting the perfect resources for everything I truly desire." Rather than lamenting, "Money goes out faster than it comes in," declare, "Money flows to me freely and consistently through expected and unexpected channels." When tempted to say, "I'm broke," replace it with, "Every dollar I spend multiplies and returns to me tenfold." These aren't just prettier ways of looking at your situation. They're energetic instructions that reprogram your financial reality at its foundation. Think of your words as the operating system of your abundance. You're not just changing the display, you're rewriting the core code that determines what manifests in your experience. Now, I want to address a common misconception that prevents many people from embracing this approach. There's a belief that positive thinking means pretending problems don't exist or denying your current reality. This couldn't be further from the truth, and this revelation changed everything for me. Authentic positive thinking isn't about denial, it's about declaration. It's not pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's declaring how things will be, even when they're not yet. You're not lying to yourself. You're programming your reality. You're speaking from a place of creative authority rather than passive acceptance. Think about it this way. When an architect looks at an empty lot, they don't say, "Well, there's no building here." They say, "This is where the building will stand." Are they denying reality? No, they're declaring the future they intend to create. Your financial declarations work the same way. You're not ignoring your current bank balance. You're issuing clear instructions about what that balance will become. This mindset shift represents one of the most pivotal moments in anyone's financial journey. When you realize that speaking about what you want as if it's already happening isn't delusional, it's creative, everything changes. The mental breakthrough often precedes the material breakthrough. Joseph Murphy documented this principle extensively in his work with thousands of clients. One particularly powerful testimony came from a woman who had been $20,000 in debt. She began speaking to her finances with authority rather than anxiety, declaring abundance rather than lack. Within 6 months, unexpected opportunities emerged that allowed her to clear her debt entirely. The catalyst wasn't just positive thinking, it was decisive commanding. The most fascinating insight from Murphy's research was that this process works regardless of external economic conditions. During recessions, depressions, and financial crises, those who mastered this internal technology continued to experience abundance while others struggled. Their internal environment overrode the external one. Let me show you how to create a daily practice that makes these powerful commands a natural part of your financial consciousness, where they become so embedded in your thinking that you no longer have to remind yourself to use them. If these powerful money commands are striking a chord with you, type in the comments, "I command my financial reality." A crucial element in this financial transformation journey is developing a genuine appreciation for the money you currently have, regardless of how little it might seem. This principle revolutionized my approach to abundance when I first discovered it through Murphy's work. Gratitude functions like potent fertilizer for financial growth. When you honor what you currently have instead of despising your small beginnings, you create an energetic space for expansion. Think about relationships again for a moment. If someone only valued you for what you might become in the future, but constantly criticized your current state, would you feel drawn to invest more of yourself in that relationship? Of course not. Money operates on similar principles of appreciation and respect. When you honor the $10 in your pocket with the same reverence you would show to 10,000, you create a welcoming environment for greater abundance. This mindset revelation often creates immediate shifts in how people experience their current financial situation. The breakthrough comes not when circumstances change, but when perception transforms. What you appreciate, appreciates. This isn't just wordplay, it's a fundamental law of energy. Your gratitude literally magnetizes more of what you're grateful for into your experience. The ritual that accelerates this process is remarkably simple, yet profoundly powerful. Each time money enters your hand, whether it's your paycheck, a found coin, or change from a purchase, pause for just a moment and bless it. Thank it. Declare over it. Thank you. This multiplies in divine order. This blessing isn't just a nice sentiment, it's giving your money a sacred assignment to grow, return, and expand, rather than simply being spent and forgotten. Behind the scenes of every wealthy person's life is some version of this practice. They may not use these exact words, but they maintain a reverent relationship with money that goes beyond its utilitarian function. They recognize money as a form of energy that responds to intention and appreciation. What makes this approach so transformative is that it works regardless of your starting point. Whether you're dealing with pennies or millions, the energy of gratitude exponentially increases what you're focusing on. Joseph Murphy documented cases where people began blessing the smallest amounts, even coins found on the street, and within weeks experienced unexpected financial windfalls that seemed to emerge from nowhere. The catalyst for this acceleration is the shift from seeing money as merely a tool to recognizing it as a responsive energy. When you speak to your money with gratitude and give it the assignment to multiply, you're engaging with it on a quantum level where energy responds to intention. You're no longer just spending currency, you're directing creative forces. This practice initiates a profound paradigm shift from scarcity consciousness to abundance awareness. Rather than focusing on what's lacking, you're consistently acknowledging what's present and giving it instructions to grow. The compounding effect of this daily practice creates a momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. What's fascinating about this approach is how it begins to transform not just your finances, but your entire relationship with the material world. You start noticing abundance everywhere, opportunities, resources, connections that were always present but previously invisible to you. Your recognition becomes your reality. Let me show you how to amplify this gratitude practice with specific visualization techniques that lock these blessings into your subconscious mind, creating a permanent abundance imprint that works for you even while you sleep. If you're ready to start blessing your money with intention, type in the comments, "I bless every dollar that comes to me." Now let's explore one of the most counterintuitive principles in the science of financial abundance. Most people believe that giving money away is the opposite of growing wealth. This limiting perspective creates a stranglehold on prosperity that few ever break free from. The revelation that transformed countless lives in Murphy's practice was this: giving isn't losing money, it's planting seeds. Think about a farmer for a moment. When he places seeds into the ground, does he cry over his loss? Does he anxiously hover over the soil, lamenting what he's given away? Of course not. He plants with confidence, even celebration, because he understands the natural law of multiplication. One seed yields many. This same principle applies to your financial life in ways that might surprise you. The universe operates as a fertile field that multiplies whatever you plant within it. When you give money, whether through charitable donations, supporting a friend, or investing in someone's growth, you're not diminishing your supply. You're activating a powerful law of increase. You're declaring to the universe, I have more than enough, and I trust this will return multiplied. This mindset breakthrough often serves as the catalyst for dramatic financial expansion. People who were previously clutching every dollar with white knuckles suddenly experience unexpected returns when they begin giving with joyful expectation rather than fearful reservation. However, and this is crucial, the transformation depends entirely on the consciousness behind your giving. This is where many people unknowingly sabotage their results. When you give from resentment, obligation, or as a manipulative attempt to get something back, you're still operating from scarcity consciousness. The universe responds not just to your action, but to the energy signature behind that action. Authentic giving flows from genuine belief in abundance. It comes from the conviction that you are tapped into an infinite source that can never be depleted. This isn't wishful thinking. It's alignment with a fundamental truth about the nature of energy and consciousness. What you circulate with joy returns with increase. What you release with resentment creates more experiences to resent. Joseph Murphy documented fascinating case studies where people who began giving just 10% of their income with genuine joy and expectation, not as a religious obligation but as a conscious prosperity practice, experienced returns of 30, 50, even 100-fold on their investment. The key variable wasn't the amount given, but the consciousness behind it. This principle creates perhaps the most profound paradigm shift in your financial journey. When you truly understand that giving and receiving are different aspects of the same energy flow, you stop seeing them as opposites. You recognize circulation as the lifeblood of prosperity. Giving becomes not a fearful obligation, but a joyful participation in the cycle of abundance. The breakthrough moment comes when giving shifts from feeling like sacrifice to feeling like power. You're no longer giving despite your limitations. You're giving because you recognize your connection to limitless supply. This mental and emotional transformation precedes and precipitates the material evidence in your bank account. Let me show you how to develop what Murphy called the consciousness of the gift, a specific mental practice that transforms every financial transaction into an opportunity for multiplication rather than subtraction. If you're ready to start giving from abundance rather than fear, type in the comments. I give with joy and expectation. Let's address a critical insight that many miss when first attempting to command money. You simply cannot command effectively from a place of lack. This revelation often explains why initial attempts at financial affirmations sometimes fall flat. If you're declaring prosperity while internally feeling desperate, anxious, or doubtful, your energy fundamentally contradicts your words. Think about it this way. Imagine someone trying to convince you they're confident while their voice trembles, their eyes dart nervously, and their hands shake. Would you believe them? Of course not. Their energy betrays their words. The universe responds to this same principle. You could be saying all the right things about abundance, but if your internal vibration is broadcasting panic about your rent payment, that energetic signature overrides your verbal declarations. This misalignment creates a form of spiritual static that prevents your commands from transmitting clearly. Your words may be saying wealth, but your energy is screaming worry. And in the realm of manifestation, your energetic broadcast always trumps your verbal one. This insight often creates the breakthrough moment for people who've been affirming abundance for years without seeing results. The transformation begins when you recognize that alignment must precede manifestation. Your inner landscape creates your outer reality, not the other way around. Many make the mistake of thinking, once I have more money, then I'll feel peaceful about money. But the sequence actually works in reverse. Once you cultivate genuine peace about money, then you'll have more of it. This is the hidden truth that separates those who struggle financially from those who thrive. The path to this alignment starts with a deliberate cultivation of inner peace. You must calm the panic within before you can effectively command results externally. This doesn't mean ignoring legitimate financial concerns. It means addressing them from a centered state rather than a chaotic one. Decisions made from panic almost always create more reasons to panic. Joseph Murphy prescribed a remarkably simple yet powerful practice for achieving this alignment. Before making any financial declaration, take a moment to breathe deeply. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Feel your nervous system calming. Allow your mind to quiet. From this centered state, your commands carry a completely different energetic signature, one that the universe can respond to without static. This practice creates a profound shift, not just in your financial reality, but in your entire approach to life. You stop experiencing yourself as a victim of external circumstances and begin recognizing yourself as the powerful creator of your experience. The vibration of calm confidence becomes your default state rather than a temporary condition. The authenticity of this alignment is what separates genuine manifestation from mere wishful thinking. You're not pretending to feel abundant while secretly panicking. You're deliberately cultivating an internal state that matches your desired external reality. This congruence between inner and outer creates a clear channel through which your intentions can manifest without interference. Let me guide you through a powerful process that Murphy taught his clients for achieving instant financial alignment, a specific mental practice that shifts you from anxiety to authority in just minutes a day, creating the perfect internal environment for your prosperity commands to take root and flourish. If you've recognized that your internal state sometimes contradicts your financial words, type in the comments, "I'm aligning my energy with my intentions." Now let's integrate these principles into your daily routine with a practice that has transformed countless financial destinies. The most powerful time to command your money is first thing in the morning, before the world's energies infiltrate your consciousness. Before checking your phone, scrolling through social media, or diving into emails, all activities that immediately pull you into reactive mode, take just 1 minute to set the energetic tone for your financial day. This sacred minute creates a protective field around your prosperity consciousness that remains intact regardless of what financial challenges you might face later. It's like installing an energetic firewall that filters out scarcity messages that would otherwise compromise your abundance mindset. The exact declaration that Joseph Murphy found most effective combines several powerful elements. My money multiplies. Unexpected income flows to me. Every opportunity that leads to increase finds me easily. I am in harmony with divine wealth. Notice how this statement contains no pleading, no hoping, no wishing. It's a clear command issued from a place of quiet authority. The transformative power of this practice comes not just from the words themselves, but from how you speak them. This is where many people unknowingly sabotage their financial manifestations. They mutter these phrases half-heartedly, with a skeptical tone or apologetic demeanor, as if embarrassed by their own desires for prosperity. This energetic contradiction nullifies the power of the declaration. Your money affirmations must be spoken with absolute conviction, out loud with your full voice as a declaration rather than a question. Say them as if you're issuing instructions to the universe that you fully expect to be followed. While this might feel strange or even foolish at first, understand that this initial discomfort is simply your old programming resisting the new. It's a sign that you're disrupting patterns that have kept you financially limited. Behind the scenes of this practice is a profound neurological rewiring. Each time you speak these declarations with conviction, you're creating new neural pathways in your brain that eventually become your default thinking patterns. You're literally restructuring your relationship with money at the subconscious level, teaching yourself that wealth is something you naturally expect rather than something you beg for or hope might somehow find you. This mental reconditioning creates what psychologists call a confirmation bias toward prosperity. You begin noticing opportunities, connections, and resources that were always available but previously invisible to you because they didn't fit your expected financial narrative. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, begins prioritizing data that confirms your new abundant identity. The breakthrough moment typically comes around the third week of consistent practice. What initially felt awkward or inauthentic suddenly feels natural. The declarations that once seemed like wishful thinking now feel like simple statements of fact. This shift signals that your subconscious has begun accepting your new financial identity as real. Let me show you how to amplify this morning ritual with specific visualization techniques that Joseph Murphy discovered could accelerate financial manifestation by as much as 300%, creating a complete prosperity immersion that transforms your relationship with money at both conscious and subconscious levels. If you're ready to begin commanding your money each morning, type in the comments, "My money multiplies daily." The effectiveness of your financial declarations depends heavily on the mental environment in which you plant them. Just like a farmer understands that seeds need fertile soil to flourish, your money commands require the right internal conditions to manifest fully. This agricultural metaphor perfectly captures the essence of manifestation. The richness of your mental soil determines how quickly and abundantly your financial seeds will grow. When your consciousness is filled with doubt, resentment, or envy, these toxic elements act like acidic soil that stunts growth. Every time you question whether abundance is possible for you, compare your journey negatively to others, or harbor bitterness about past financial disappointments, you're creating an internal environment hostile to prosperity. The seeds of your declarations may sprout, but they struggle to thrive in such conditions. Conversely, when you cultivate a mental landscape rich in gratitude, peace, and positive expectation, you create the perfect conditions for rapid manifestation. This psychological alchemy transforms your entire financial experience. What once took years may now unfold in months or even weeks because the resistance has been removed. Your declarations land in receptive soil, eager to nurture them into full expression. This revelation often creates the most profound awakening in people's prosperity journey. They realize that their internal atmosphere matters more than external circumstances. Economic downturns, industry challenges, or market fluctuations become secondary to the power of their cultivated consciousness. Your mental environment trumps your material environment every time. Now let me dispel a common misconception about this practice. Commanding money is not about magical thinking or passive wishing. The transformation process isn't about sitting on your couch repeating affirmations while waiting for checks to arrive in the mail. Joseph Murphy was adamant that divine principles always work through natural channels, which include inspired action. The key distinction, and this is crucial, is that you still work, make decisions, and take action. But these activities are now guided by faith rather than fear. This shift in motivation creates entirely different outcomes. Actions taken from anxiety create more reasons for anxiety. Actions taken from confidence create more reasons for confidence. The catalyst for extraordinary results comes when your declarations and your actions harmonize completely. You're no longer saying one thing while doing another. You're not affirming abundance on Monday while making panic-based decisions on Tuesday. This alignment creates a clear channel through which prosperity can flow without interference. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough is this powerful combination of declaration and demonstration. Your words set the intention, but your actions bring it into physical form. One without the other creates frustration. Together, they create transformation. Many of Murphy's students discovered that once they aligned their actions with their declarations, opportunities that had been invisible suddenly became obvious. This principle extends beyond money to every area of life. When you command from authority and act from alignment, you become a powerful creator rather than a passive recipient of circumstances. You stop waiting for conditions to change and become the agent of change itself. This sovereign stance represents the ultimate financial freedom, independence from external validation of your abundant nature. Let me show you how to identify and eliminate specific mental blocks that might be contaminating your prosperity soil, preventing your declarations from bearing their full fruit, no matter how diligently you plant them. If you recognize that your mental environment affects your financial results, type in the comments, "I'm cultivating rich prosperity soil." Let me share with you a fundamental truth about prosperity that changes everything once you truly understand it. Money never comes to you because you need it. In fact, and this might sound counterintuitive, need actually repels prosperity. This revelation transforms how you approach your financial life entirely. When you approach money from a place of desperation, saying, "I need this," or "I'll be in trouble without that," you're broadcasting a frequency of lack that creates energetic resistance to the very thing you're trying to attract. This insight explains why some people seem blessed with endless opportunities while others struggle despite working twice as hard. It's not about luck or even just effort. It's about energetic alignment. Think of yourself as a radio receiver. You can only pick up the stations you're tuned to receive. When you're vibrating at a frequency of lack, limitation, and desperation, you simply cannot receive on the frequency where abundance, opportunity, and prosperity are broadcasting. The profound shift occurs when you align your thoughts, words, and actions with abundance rather than scarcity. This alignment is like finally tuning your radio to the perfect frequency where the signal comes through crystal clear, without static or interference. The universe isn't responding to your wish list or your vision board. It's responding to your energetic broadcast, which is determined by your predominant thoughts, feelings, and expectations. Joseph Murphy documented this principle extensively through thousands of case studies. One particularly striking example involves a woman who found herself down to her last $5, a situation that would cause panic in most people. But instead of succumbing to fear, she made a decision that altered her financial trajectory completely. She held that $5 bill in her hands, blessed it, and declared with absolute conviction, "This multiplies and returns to me in miraculous ways." The breakthrough came not from the words themselves, but from the energy behind them. She didn't speak from desperate hope, but from calm certainty. Within just a few hours of this declaration, she unexpectedly reconnected with an old friend who mentioned needing help with a small project, something she was perfectly qualified to do. That initial connection led to a freelance opportunity that turned her $5 into $500 within a week. Was this mere coincidence? Murphy's research suggests otherwise. He documented hundreds of similar cases where this principle produced consistent results regardless of economic conditions, educational background, or starting financial position. The common denominator wasn't external circumstance, but internal alignment. This revelation exposes the hidden mechanism behind what many mistakenly call luck. The universe always answers. Always. The question isn't whether it's responding to you, it's what exactly you're commanding through your dominant vibration. Are you commanding lack or abundance, fear or faith? Your energy field is constantly instructing the universe about what to bring you more of. The decision to shift from needing to commanding represents one of the most significant turning points in anyone's financial journey. It's the moment you stop seeing yourself as a beggar at life's table and recognize yourself as a powerful creator directing the flow of abundance. This sovereign stance alters not just your finances, but your entire experience of reality. Let me show you how to master what Murphy called the art of detachment, a specific mental technique that allows you to command with authority while releasing the desperate grip of need that blocks your manifestations from arriving. If you've been approaching money from need rather than alignment, type in the comments, "I command from abundance, not need." Let's explore a profound truth that fundamentally alters how you experience financial reality. The universe always answers. Always. This isn't wishful thinking or spiritual bypassing. It's a consistent principle that operates, whether you're conscious of it or not. The question isn't whether the universe is responding to your commands. It's what exactly you're commanding through your dominant thoughts and feelings. This revelation often creates an awakening moment for people who've been unconsciously programming lack while wondering why abundance eludes them. Every thought you consistently think, every emotion you regularly feel, every word you habitually speak is casting a vote for your financial future. If your inner dialogue is dominated by worry, doubt, or frustration about money, you're literally commanding more experiences that justify those feelings. The universe doesn't judge whether your commands are serving you well. It simply delivers experiences that match your energetic broadcast. It's responding to your frequency rather than your wish list. This explains why two people can use identical affirmations with dramatically different results. One person speaks from authentic alignment, while the other speaks from desperate hope. Same words, entirely different commands. Joseph Murphy discovered through decades of working with thousands of clients that this principle could be harnessed through a specific daily declaration that reframes your relationship with money completely. Instead of seeing yourself as money's supplicant, you recognize money as your obedient servant. This sovereignty shift changes everything. The exact declaration that produced the most consistent results was, "My money is my obedient servant. It multiplies, circulates, and returns to me abundantly." Notice the language of command rather than request. You're not hoping or wishing. You're directing energy with the quiet authority of someone who knows they will be obeyed. The catalyst that transforms this from mere words into a powerful manifestation tool is how you feel as you say it. This is where visualization becomes crucial. As you speak these words, see your bank account growing, visualize your wallet expanding, imagine your debts clearing. Feel the peace that comes with knowing you have more than enough. This emotional component is what embeds the command into your subconscious, where all lasting change must occur. The illumination that comes from this practice isn't just financial, it's existential. You begin to recognize that the same principle applies to every area of life. You're constantly commanding your reality, often unconsciously. When you bring this process into awareness, you reclaim your creative power in all domains, not just your finances. This revelation creates a profound paradigm shift from victim consciousness to creator consciousness. You're no longer at the mercy of economic cycles, job markets, or external circumstances. You recognize yourself as the primary causal factor in your financial experience. This doesn't mean external events don't matter. It means your response to them matters more. The transformation begins when you stop seeing yourself as someone who might get lucky financially and start recognizing yourself as someone who commands prosperity as your birthright. This identity shift precedes and precipitates all external changes. You don't become wealthy and then feel abundant. You feel abundant first, and that creates the pathway for wealth to find you. Let me guide you through a powerful integration process that ensures these commands become permanently embedded in your subconscious, creating an automatic prosperity program that runs even when you're not consciously thinking about money. If this perspective on commanding the universe resonates with you, type in the comments, "I command my reality with authority." As you begin implementing these principles consistently, something beautiful starts to happen. You'll notice small financial wins appearing in your life, seemingly random occurrences that nevertheless feel strangely aligned. Perhaps you'll receive an unexpected discount when purchasing something, maybe a surprise. Payment or refund arrives in your mailbox, or perhaps a sudden inspiration strikes that leads to an income opportunity you hadn't considered before. Most people dismiss these experiences as mere coincidences, but Joseph Murphy's research revealed something far more significant happening beneath the surface. These aren't random events, they're confirmations that your new relationship with money is producing tangible results. They're the first evidence that the universe is responding to your commands, the initial sprouts from the seeds you've planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. These early manifestations serve a crucial purpose in your prosperity journey. They build what psychologists call evidence-based faith, conviction that grows not from wishful thinking but from direct experience. Each small win strengthens your belief in the process, which in turn amplifies your commanding power. This creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates your financial transformation. The revelation that often accompanies these initial experiences is profound. You begin to recognize that you're not simply affecting your attitude toward money, you're literally reshaping your financial reality through the power of your focused attention and deliberate commands. What once seemed like mystical thinking suddenly has tangible proof in your everyday experience. Behind the scenes of this transformation is a fundamental shift in identity. When you command money instead of chasing it, you stop experiencing yourself as a victim of your finances and become their conscious architect. This sovereignty shift changes everything about how money moves in your life. You're no longer waiting for external circumstances to improve. You're actively directing their improvement through your conscious commands. This empowered positioning transforms tentative hope into confident expectation. "I hope things get better" becomes "things are already getting better." Maybe someday, "I'll have enough" shifts to "I am attracting abundance now." This isn't semantic wordplay, it's a complete recoding of your relationship with prosperity at the most fundamental level. The breakthrough comes when you fully embody this creative power, speaking your financial reality into existence with the calm authority of someone who knows they will be heard and obeyed. Your words cease being mere descriptions of what is and become powerful declarations of what will be. This creative use of language mirrors the very process through which all things come into being, first as thought, then as word, finally as manifestation. What's fascinating about this journey is how it extends beyond your finances to transform your entire approach to life. Once you experience your creative power in the domain of money, you naturally begin applying the same principles to your health, relationships, career, and spiritual growth. You recognize yourself as the common denominator in all your experiences, the conscious creator rather than the passive recipient of circumstances. Let me guide you through a powerful technique that Joseph Murphy discovered could accelerate this process dramatically. A specific practice for amplifying your money commands through what he called emotionalized thinking, ensuring they penetrate the deepest layers of your subconscious where true transformation occurs. If you've started noticing these coincidental financial wins in your life, type in the comments, "I see." The evidence growing daily. Now I want to introduce you to an advanced concept that takes your financial transformation to an entirely new level. Beyond commanding money, which is powerful in itself, lies the art of training it to work for you even when you're not consciously paying attention. This higher level of financial mastery creates consistent automatic results that flow to you without constant effort or vigilance. Think of it like training a high-performance team. Initially, you need to be present for every decision, giving clear instructions and monitoring results. But eventually, with proper systems and training, that team begins to function brilliantly, even when you're not in the room. Your money can operate the same way. This revelation represents a quantum leap in your prosperity consciousness. It's the difference between having to consciously affirm abundance each day and living in a state where abundance naturally flows to you as your default experience. The shift is from doing abundance to being abundance, a profound transformation that alters your financial destiny permanently. Joseph Murphy observed a fascinating pattern among his most successful clients. Those who achieved lasting wealth had moved beyond seeing money as something outside themselves that needed to be constantly commanded. Instead, they had internalized prosperity as an aspect of their identity. It was simply who they were, not something they had to continually strive for. The pathway to this mastery begins with understanding a fundamental truth. Your financial situation is never just about dollars and cents. It's a perfect reflection of your inner order or chaos. This mirror principle reveals why some people seem perpetually disorganized with money despite their best intentions, while others maintain financial harmony with apparent ease. When your thoughts are scattered, when you make decisions from panic, when you react to financial situations rather than respond to them, thoughtfully, you create a chaotic energy field around your money. It's like trying to conduct an orchestra while randomly changing the tempo, volume, and melody. The result is financial discord, money coming in and going out in unpredictable ways, unexpected expenses appearing at the worst times, opportunities slipping through your fingers. Conversely, when your thinking is confident, ordered, and intentional, money feels secure in your presence. It behaves predictably, grows consistently, and multiplies naturally. This isn't metaphysical wishful thinking. It's the practical result of bringing conscious awareness to your relationship with financial energy. The breakthrough moment often comes when people recognize that their external financial circumstances aren't happening to them, they're happening through them. Your consciousness is the conduit through which your material reality takes shape. When you transform the conduit, you transform everything that flows through it. This realization shifts your focus from merely changing your financial situation to changing yourself as the creator of that situation. It's a profound paradigm shift from seeing money as something to be manipulated externally to recognizing it as an extension of your inner landscape that naturally conforms to your dominant patterns of thought and emotion. Let me guide you through a powerful method Murphy discovered for bringing order to your financial consciousness, creating an internal environment where prosperity grows as naturally and effortlessly as plants in fertile soil. If you recognize that your financial life reflects your inner state, type in the comments. My inner order creates my outer prosperity. One of Murphy's most illuminating discoveries about financial abundance was that money, like any valuable resource, responds powerfully to structure and instruction. Think about this simple analogy. If you hand someone your phone, wallet, and car keys without any direction, what happens? They might lose them, misuse them, or simply stand there confused, waiting for guidance. Money operates on this same principle, though few people ever realize it. When money enters your life without clear direction, it tends to wander aimlessly. It leaks through the cracks of indecision, dissipates through lack of purpose, and often ends up serving impulses rather than intentions. This explains why so many people experience the phenomenon of money burning a hole in their pocket. Without specific instruction, money naturally seeks movement, even if that movement doesn't serve your highest good. This revelation transformed my own relationship with financial energy completely. I realized that the seemingly random nature of my finances, unexpected expenses appearing just after receiving money, impulse purchases I later regretted, resources that somehow never quite stretched to my important goals, wasn't random at all. It was the natural result of giving my money no clear mission. The transformation begins with a deceptively simple practice that creates profound shifts in your financial reality. Assign every dollar a purpose. When money enters your hand or your account, don't just toss it into your wallet or deposit it without thought. Take a moment to tell it specifically what it's for. Yes, actually speak to it out loud if possible. Look at that money and declare, "You're here to multiply. You're here to create opportunities. You're here to bring me peace and growth." This might feel strange at first, even a bit foolish, but remember that you're not talking to paper. You're speaking to energy, giving it clear direction and purpose. Behind the scenes of this practice is a powerful psychological principle. When you assign purpose to your money, you're actually programming your own relationship with it. You're shifting from unconscious spending to conscious directing. This mindset breakthrough often creates immediate changes in spending patterns, saving habits, and overall financial behavior, not through willpower but through clarity of purpose. What fascinates me about this approach is that it works regardless of the amount involved. Whether you're dealing with $5 or $5,000, the principle remains the same. Money that receives clear instruction serves that instruction. Money left to its own devices tends to dissipate without lasting impact. Joseph Murphy documented hundreds of cases where this simple practice of speaking directly to money created dramatic shifts in people's financial situations. One client who had struggled with constant debt began assigning a specific purpose to every dollar that came to her. Within 3 months, not only had she stopped accumulating new debt, but she had created her first emergency fund, something she'd been unable to do for decades, despite numerous attempts. The illumination that comes from this practice extends far beyond your bank account. You begin recognizing that all resources in your life, time, energy, attention, relationships, respond to this same principle of clear direction. When you assign purpose to any resource, it serves that purpose with remarkable efficiency. When you leave resources without direction, they naturally scatter. Let me guide you through a powerful ritual for programming your money with purpose, a specific method Murphy discovered that ensures every dollar that touches your hands becomes imprinted with your highest financial intentions. If you're ready to start giving your money clear instructions, type in the comments, "My money has divine purpose." Another profound insight from Murphy's research reveals a principle that contradicts conventional financial wisdom. Money loves movement rather than stagnation. Much like water that becomes stagnant when it stops flowing, money becomes nervous when it sits idle for too long. This dynamic understanding of financial energy transforms how you interact with every dollar that passes. Through your life, most traditional financial advice focuses almost exclusively on accumulation, saving more, hoarding resources, building walls around your money to protect it. While prudence certainly has its place, this fortress mentality often creates energetic blockages that actually prevent the very prosperity you're trying to cultivate. Money responds to circulation, not strangulation. This revelation doesn't mean spending recklessly or abandoning wise saving practices. Rather, it's about understanding that even your saved money should be in purposeful motion, working for you rather than simply sitting idle. This means not just investing in traditional assets like stocks or real estate, but investing in purpose, learning, and supporting causes that keep financial energy alive and growing. Joseph Murphy documented fascinating case studies of individuals who transformed their financial situations by shifting from a hoarding mindset to a circulation consciousness. One particularly striking example involved a business owner who had been carefully accumulating cash reserves for years, but experiencing minimal growth. When she began strategically circulating portions of those reserves, investing in employee development, supporting community initiatives, and upgrading customer experiences, her business suddenly expanded by over 40% in 6 months. The quantum leap in understanding comes when you recognize that circulation isn't just about physical money moving through different accounts. It's about the energy of exchange flowing freely through every aspect of your life. When you give value, receive value, express gratitude, and create impact, you're participating in the natural circulation that prosperity requires. Now I want to share with you one of Murphy's most powerful techniques for programming your financial subconscious while you sleep. This practice leverages the brain's natural receptivity during the transition to sleep, when the critical, analytical mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes particularly absorbent to new programming. Each night before sleeping, take just 2 minutes to visualize your money working for you. See your bank accounts growing, imagine your investments expanding, picture debts diminishing. But here's the crucial element that most people miss. Feel the genuine emotion of gratitude for this expansion, as if it's already accomplished. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between vivid imagination and actual experience. It accepts these emotionalized images as instructions for manifestation. The illumination this practice creates goes far beyond financial results. You begin experiencing what psychologists call anticipatory joy, the genuine pleasure of experiencing your desired outcome before its physical manifestation. This emotional resonance creates a magnetic pull that accelerates the alignment between your inner vision and your outer reality. What makes this bedtime visualization so transformative is that it bypasses the conscious mind's tendency to argue, doubt, or contradict. While you're awake, you might affirm abundance only to have your analytical mind immediately counter with, "But my bank account says otherwise." During the twilight state before sleep, these critical faculties are naturally diminished, allowing your prosperity programming to take root without resistance. Let me guide you through a specific visualization sequence that Murphy found particularly effective for imprinting prosperity consciousness deeply into your subconscious mind, creating automatic abundance patterns that manifest even when you're not consciously focusing on money. If you're ready to start visualizing your financial growth before sleep, type in the comments, "I program my prosperity while I sleep." Now let's address one of the most insidious blocks to financial prosperity, one that operates beneath conscious awareness, yet sabotages countless sincere attempts at commanding abundance. Many people try to manifest money while secretly harboring guilt about desiring it. This internal contradiction creates an energetic stalemate that prevents your financial declarations from bearing fruit. Think about this paradox for a moment. You're affirming abundance with your words, while simultaneously feeling ashamed of wanting more money. You're commanding prosperity with your conscious mind, while your subconscious is broadcasting unworthiness. This mixed signal creates spiritual static that confuses the universe about what you truly desire. Joseph Murphy discovered through working with thousands of clients that this subconscious guilt was often the hidden saboteur behind financial struggles. The revelation that transformed countless lives was this simple truth: you cannot attract something you feel ashamed of wanting. The universe doesn't judge your desires, it simply responds to your dominant vibration. If that vibration contains guilt, shame, or unworthiness around money, those emotions will override your conscious declarations. This insight explains why some people can follow all the right financial practices yet still struggle, while others seem to attract prosperity with minimal effort. The difference isn't luck or even strategy, it's internal alignment. Those who experience consistent abundance have resolved their subconscious conflicts about deserving wealth. Their energy field contains no contradictions to block their manifestations. The misunderstanding that creates this guilt often stems from cultural programming about money being the root of all evil, or beliefs that spirituality and prosperity are somehow opposing forces. Murphy's research revealed that money itself is completely neutral. It's simply a form of energy that amplifies whatever qualities already exist within you. If you're kind, money helps you express more kindness. If you're generous, money allows you to be more generous. Money doesn't change who you are. It magnifies who you already are. The breakthrough begins with a deliberate reprogramming of your relationship with deservingness. This isn't about inflating your ego, but about aligning with your natural birthright to experience abundance. The specific declaration Murphy found most effective for dissolving financial guilt was this: I release all guilt about money. I deserve abundance. I use it wisely and joyfully. Speak these words daily, not as a mechanical repetition, but as a genuine reclamation of your relationship with prosperity. Feel the relief of releasing unnecessary guilt. Experience the liberation of embracing your deservingness. Imagine the joy of using money as the powerful tool for good that it truly is. This declaration acts as a solvent, gradually dissolving the subconscious resistance that has been blocking your financial flow. Many of Murphy's clients reported feeling an almost physical sensation of lightness after consistently using this affirmation, as if an invisible weight had been lifted from their shoulders. This energetic shift often preceded unexpected financial breakthroughs. The illumination that comes through this practice extends far beyond money. You begin recognizing areas throughout your life where you've been unconsciously rejecting good because of hidden unworthiness programming. This awareness creates a ripple effect of healing that transforms not just your finances, but your entire experience of receiving. Let me guide you through a powerful forgiveness practice that Murphy discovered could accelerate this healing process dramatically, releasing years of financial guilt in a matter of days rather than months. If you've been secretly feeling guilty about wanting more abundance, type in the comments, "I deserve prosperity," without apology. Let me share with you one of the most overlooked yet powerful catalysts for financial manifestation: joy. This principle transformed my understanding of abundance completely. Most people approach their finances with such seriousness, such tension, even dread, never realizing that this heavy emotional state actually creates resistance to the very prosperity they're trying to attract. Joseph Murphy discovered through decades of research that joy acts as a supernatural accelerator for manifestation. It literally raises your vibrational frequency and multiplies everything it touches. Money flows more easily when you're happy, relaxed, or inspired, not because the universe is rewarding your good mood, but because joy creates an energetic environment that prosperity naturally gravitates toward. Think about people you know. Have you noticed how money seems to flow more effortlessly to those who maintain a lightness of being, a sense of play, an expectation of good? This isn't coincidence, it's energy alignment. When you're experiencing genuine joy, you're operating at a frequency that naturally attracts rather than repels abundance. The revelation that changed countless financial destinies was this practical application. Deliberately infuse your financial activities with positive emotions. Instead of paying bills with resentment, dance while handling your finances. Play your favorite uplifting music when checking your bank balance. Smile while giving money. These aren't superficial gimmicks. They're energetic transformations that fundamentally alter your relationship with prosperity. Behind the scenes of this practice is a powerful neurological rewiring. When you consistently pair financial activities with positive emotions, you're creating new neural pathways that eventually transform these once dreaded tasks into experiences your brain actually looks forward to. This psychological alchemy changes not just how you feel about money, but how money responds to you. Now let's explore another crucial dimension of your financial transformation: monitoring the casual statements you make about money throughout your day. Here's a hidden truth that explains why many affirmations fail to produce results. Your informal comments about money matter far more than your formal affirmations. You can declare, "I am wealthy and abundant," during your morning ritual. But if you spend the rest of the day saying things like, "I can't afford that," "everything is so expensive," or "money is tight this month," you're effectively canceling your own command. These casual statements act as powerful counter-instructions that confuse the universe about what you truly desire. The awakening comes when you become conscious of this unconscious sabotage. Start catching yourself in those mundane moments: shopping conversations, bill-paying comments, casual complaints about prices. Replace every limiting statement with an expansive alternative. Instead of "I can't afford it," try "It's not my priority right now, but it's coming." Instead of "That's too expensive," say "I'm selecting what serves my highest good." This mindfulness practice creates a quantum shift in your financial consciousness. You begin recognizing how frequently you've been programming lack without even realizing it. The illumination often creates immediate changes in how money flows in your life simply because you've stopped instructing it to stay away. If you've been unknowingly sabotaging your prosperity with casual negative comments, type in the comments, "I'm becoming conscious of my money language." Let me share with you an observation I've made after studying Joseph Murphy's work for years. People who truly master financial abundance treat their words like valuable currency. They spend them as wisely as they spend their money. This insight creates a profound shift in how you approach everyday conversations. Just as you wouldn't throw dollar bills into the wind, these prosperity masters don't waste their verbal energy on worry, gossip, criticism, or self-pity. They understand at a deep level that every word spoken is a seed planted in the garden of their life experience. And like all seeds, these words inevitably bear corresponding fruit. The revelation that transformed countless financial journeys was this: your vocabulary creates your reality. The words you consistently use, not just about money, but about all aspects of life, eventually materialize in your experience through the law of resonance. Behind the scenes of every wealthy individual's success is this disciplined curation of language. They've learned to speak only what they wish to experience, to declare only what they want to create, to express gratitude for what's coming before it physically arrives. This isn't pretense or denial, it's conscious creation through deliberate word choice. The breakthrough moment often comes when people realize how carelessly they've been spending their verbal currency. Just as financial awareness begins with tracking expenses, verbal awareness starts with monitoring your everyday language. Which words are investments in your desired future, and which are unconscious sabotage of your prosperity? This mindful approach to speech creates an immediate shift in your energetic field. You stop leaking power through complaining, catastrophizing, or critical commentary. You become more deliberate, more sovereign, more intentional with every statement. This verbal discipline eventually translates directly into financial discipline, creating alignment between how you handle both forms of currency. Now let me introduce you to a powerful daily practice that Murphy discovered could rapidly accelerate financial manifestation: gratitude journaling with a specific focus on abundance. Each evening before bed, take just 3 minutes to write down 3 financial blessings from your day, no matter how small. Perhaps you found an unexpected discount, received excellent service for your money, or simply had enough for everything you truly needed. The illumination this practice creates is nothing short of transformative. You're systematically training your mind to notice abundance instead of lack. Most people's default setting is to spot what's missing, what's problematic, what's not enough. This gratitude practice deliberately rewires that tendency, creating new neural pathways that automatically register prosperity in all its forms. What makes this approach so powerful is the fundamental principle that what you consistently notice expands in your experience. This isn't magical thinking, it's perceptual reality. When you train your attention on evidence of abundance, your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, begins prioritizing those prosperity cues in your environment. You literally begin seeing opportunities, resources, and blessings that were always present but previously invisible to your lack-focused perception. The catalyst for dramatic financial transformation often comes through this simple daily practice. As you consistently document evidence of abundance, you create what psychologists call selective attention toward prosperity. Your mind becomes a powerful prosperity spotting mechanism that naturally gravitates toward more of what you're acknowledging with gratitude. Let me guide you through a specific gratitude practice that Joseph Murphy found could completely revolutionize your financial consciousness within just 21 days of consistent application. If you're ready to start noticing and documenting your financial blessings, type in the comments. Gratitude expands my abundance. Now I want to reveal a profound insight about manifestation that fundamentally changes how prosperity flows into your life. Here's the revelation that transformed countless financial journeys. The universe responds to knowing, not wanting. This distinction represents one of the most significant mindset shifts on your path to abundance. Most people approach manifestation from a place of wanting, a sense of yearning, hoping, wishing for things to improve. They focus intently on what they desire, visualizing it, affirming it, yet still feeling the ache of its absence. This wanting energy, however sincere, actually broadcasts lack to the universe. It's a declaration that says, I don't have this yet, and I really, really want it. This vibration, though well-intentioned, creates resistance to receiving. The quantum leap in consciousness comes when you shift from wanting to knowing. This isn't about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something against evidence. It's about cultivating a genuine inner certainty, a calm, quiet knowing that your good is already in process, already making its way to you through channels seen and unseen. Joseph Murphy documented this phenomenon extensively. The clients who experienced the most dramatic financial transformations weren't those who wanted abundance most desperately. They were those who had developed the capacity to feel genuinely abundant before seeing physical evidence of that abundance. This inner alignment created a magnetic attraction that naturally drew prosperity experiences into their lives. Think about the difference in energy between these two approaches. Wanting comes with an undercurrent of anxiety, a subtle desperation that says, when will this arrive? Knowing carries an entirely different signature, a peaceful certainty that says, it is done. This shift in consciousness creates an entirely different blueprint for manifestation. The revelation that often creates the breakthrough moment is this: the universe doesn't respond to desperate wanting, but to the inner certainty that comes from aligned thinking and genuine gratitude. When you feel as grateful for what's coming as you would if it had already arrived, you create an energetic match that accelerates manifestation dramatically. Now let's address one of the most pervasive and damaging myths about financial success: the belief that prosperity requires struggle, sacrifice, and suffering. This outdated perspective has kept countless people trapped in unnecessary hardship while pursuing abundance. Joseph Murphy's research revealed a startling truth: the universe rewards alignment, not struggle. This insight represents a complete paradigm shift from conventional thinking. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that financial success demands painful effort, working harder than everyone else, sacrificing your health and relationships, enduring years of misery to eventually earn prosperity. This martyrdom approach to wealth creation actually creates energetic resistance that blocks the very abundance you're working so hard to attract. The illumination that transformed countless financial destinies was this simple truth: when you align with ease, joy, and service, abundance flows naturally without painful effort. This doesn't mean you don't work. It means your work comes from inspiration rather than desperation, from creative flow rather than grinding force. The decisions you make from this aligned state create entirely different outcomes than choices made from stress and struggle. Behind the scenes of every seemingly overnight success is this fundamental principle in action. What appears as luck to outside observers is actually the natural result of internal alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions harmonize with abundance rather than scarcity, you create a clear channel for prosperity to flow through you without resistance. If you've been struggling to create financial abundance, type in the comments, "I choose alignment over struggle." As we've explored these powerful principles together, I hope you're feeling that shift in your consciousness, that subtle yet profound recognition that you're not at the mercy of your financial circumstances, but rather the commanding authority of your prosperity. This wisdom from Joseph Murphy isn't just theory. It's a proven pathway to transformation that's changed countless lives, including my own. If you found value in these insights today, I'd love to have you join our community of conscious creators. Hit that subscribe button so we can continue this journey together. Each week, we explore these life-changing principles without the fluff or excessive time commitment. Just pure, practical wisdom you can apply immediately. Did this message feel like it was speaking directly to your situation? If so, take a moment to leave a like. It's a small gesture that helps others discover these transformative ideas too. And I'm genuinely curious, which of these principles resonated most deeply with you? Drop a comment saying, "I command my money with authority," so I know you made it to the end of our conversation today. The principles we've discussed are just the beginning of your financial transformation journey. There's a video right here that explores how to maintain your prosperity consciousness even during challenging times. Click and continue with me there as we dive deeper into mastering your financial energy regardless of external circumstances. Remember, you're not just hoping for abundance, you're commanding it with the full authority of your sovereign consciousness. I'll see you in our next conversation.